good news. She's dead. Get her out of here.
This ain't the only, I ain't the only, pussy holy, worship me, yeah, you can blow me. I ain't the only, you so lonely, insecure, they don't control me.
Let me tell you something. Absolutely no one mourns the wicked Mitch McConnell. He has announced his retirement. Well, hello, let's celebrate that. The turtle, and I would call him a teenage mutant ninja turtle, but the thing about that is that he is old as a hill, as Nene says. He's older than some mountain ranges that we find on Earth and just as dusty, so ain't no teenage nothing. You hear what I'm saying? It's just turtle. Get him out of here. I saw this article describing his legacy. It was like an opinion article on Guardian, and I just wanted to go through it real quick. They said you would think that this is exactly what Mitch McConnell wanted. McConnell, the 83-year-old Kentucky senator who announced last week that he will retire in 2026. Oh my God, it's a breath of fresh air. And not seek an eighth term. An eighth term is crazy. Sit down. Sit down. We got some bingo for you, some applesauce, girl. We got a rocking chair and a life alert button. Sit down, bro. Your racist self don't want to learn how to knit or something? You don't want to crochet or something, bro? Sit down, bro. 8 terms. Girl. So he's one of the most influential Republicans in the history of the party, but he has in recent weeks expressed dissent and discontent with the direction of the Republican Party. He voted against some of Donald Trump's cabinet appointees, refusing, for example, to cast a vote for the confirmation of the anti-diversity campaigner and alleged R-wordist and drunk Pete, whatever his name is. He has also voiced some tepid and belated opposition to Republicans' extremist agenda, citing his own experience as a survivor of childhood polio. My goodness, girl. Listen to me. Mitch McConnell must have been around when the first viruses and bacteria done walked the earth. I'm telling polio, girl, she childhood polio. Girl, sit down. So I guess since he's a survivor of childhood polio, he's citing that as a reason for his opposition to Republican attacks on vaccines. And it's just like, girl, I know you ain't. Now you mad at how the Republican Party sees vaccines. Girl, sit down. But the Republican Party that McConnell is now shaking his head at is the one that he created. He has no one to blame but himself. Yeah, it's way too late for that. Let me keep skimming here over his 40 years in the U.S. Senate. Oh my God, I feel like some statue's been there a shorter amount of time. 40 years in the U.S. Senate, McConnell has become one of the most influential senators in the nation's history, radically reshaping Congress and his party in the process. Few have done more to erode the conditions of representative democracy in America, and few have done more to enable the rise of oligarchy, reactionary governance that is insulated from electoral check. Mitch McConnell remade America in his own image. It's an ugly sight, and you better look at this sight. Of course, it's an ugly sight. Now, one of the things that I want to clarify is that I have met and seen so many people who have aged, right? And they have such deep knowledge about the world. They love to see young people who are excited to fight for what they believe in and fight for their rights. Like, I've met older people who are so, like I said, intuitive, knowledgeable, ready to share, excited to help. But then I see some older people like Mitch McConnell. They don't care about making your life absolute misery, as long as they can hold on to some scraps of what once was or some scraps of power. It's just like, I don't understand why y'all be so miserable. And it be the racist rich ones who be so miserable. I'm like, what on earth do you have to be so nasty and miserable about? Y'all own every plantation. Y'all got money. They be so miserable. Old and miserable In the end, McConnell will be remembered for one thing only, his enabling of Donald Trump. And that's true. In 2021, after Donald Trump refused to respect the results of the 2020 election and sent a violent mob of his supporters to the Capitol to stop the certification of the election results by violent force, McConnell had an opportunity to put a stop to Trump's authoritarian attacks on the constitutional order. McConnell never liked Trump, and by that point, he didn't even need him. He had already won what would be his last term. He could have voted to convict Trump at his second impeachment. If he had, it's likely that other Republican senators would have been willing to do so too, and that Trump could have been convicted and prevented from returning to power. He didn't. Surprise, surprise. Like, girl, surprise, surprise. McConnell voted to acquit and to allow Trump to rise again. If the next 4 years of Trump's restoration are anything like the first 30 days have been, then that will turn out to have been the singularly significant decision of McConnell's career. But McConnell had been working against American democracy long before Trump sent the mob to ransack the Senate chamber and smear feces. Okay, how did that work? So y'all walking around, is it human feet? Y'all just walking around, you know, with full Pampers, and y'all just smeared it on the wall? Like, how did that work? Okay. So the article here talks about how McConnell is responsible for how dark money is all up in politics, making more elections more influenceable, and politicians favor more purchasable in ways that tilt public policy away from the people's interests and toward those of the billionaire patron class. They said it was partly his control over this spider-like web of wealthy funders that allowed McConnell to exert such control over his caucus. And what they mean by that is McConnell was able to snuff out any meaningful dissent and policy difference in public among Republican senators, with the threat of his deep-pocketed friends always ready to fund a primary challenger. I'm gonna skip to the end because I think we got everything we need. Mitch McConnell is an old man in 2026 when he finally leaves office. He will be 84. He will not have to live in the world that he made, the one where what was left of American democracy is finally snatched away, but we will. Whenever you see a horror of anti-democratic rule, wherever cronyism is rewarded over competence, where cruelty is inflicted over dignity, whenever the Constitution is flouted, mocked, or treated as a mere annoyance to be ignored by men with no respect for the law or for you, remember, Mitch McConnell, you have him to thank. And so, yeah, like, I think that is one of the most important points, is that these greedy, racist, bigoted people, old people, gonna spit out they laws, literally creating bills and laws that ruin the lives of, marginalized people, minorities, or make them harder. They're gonna spit out those things, their decrees, and go to sleep, do the long sleep. They gonna do the long sleep and not have to endure the kind of BS that they're going to put people who, still have the breath of life still in there, through. They're going to put people who still walking the earth through the BS that they wrote before they, got dropped off like a to-go box in that casket. We the ones who gonna have to live through it. It's just get them out of here. Nancy over here falling down every 5 seconds, just like Mitch. They was over here kikiing in the cafeteria like politics was just a game to them, which it is. It's just like, get them all out of here. Get them all out of here. Let me know in the comments what you will be doing to celebrate the retirement, the banishment, if you will, of Mitch McConnell. Thanks so much for watching. Love y'all so much. And make sure you have a good evening.
This ain't the only push that holy worship me. Yeah, you could blow me. I ain't the only. You so lonely, insecure, they don't control me. I ain't the only push that holy worship me.